But this is Wilhelm Ritz Coop. And one of the things that I did was I dug down 18 inches in the bottom of the soil, put this diamond lath all in the floor and up the sides about 6 inches. And if anybody's worked with diamond lath, they know how sharp it is. And if you try to dig under here and dig on this, they'll usually cut a paw or whatever, hand or whatever. Whoever's trying to get in there is going to have a hard time. And that's all the way on the floor and up there. And then how I built all the armature is I just took a number 3 rebar, and I've got a MIG welder, and then I started engineering all the supports for the coop, and then went the full length for the run underneath so they can get some shade. And also it's a place that I can put the feed bucket and the water spout to protect it. And also access panel to get into the coop. A little door right here. One other thing on the outside that I put here for the predators, I should tell you, is a solar-powered light with a motion sensor on it. And basically, I can show you how it worked. Right now it's charging, but once I'm right in the pathway, this light comes on whenever somebody comes through, triggers this. Maybe it'll scare them off, maybe it won't, but it's just something that might help. And this is one of the other vents that I use with that door open, and then you can also close this in the nighttime, lock them up. But summertime, usually we'll leave that open, get the cross ventilation going, and then the chickens, hopefully will have a good time in there. And then also one other thing I want to tell you that I did. I didn't normally make this just to look like a normal chicken coop, so what I did is I hand cut all these little covings right here on every rafter with a metal roof, just to give it a little design, to make it a little different than your normal one. One other design feature is a little different, is you'll see this little metal greyhound here. Basically, I drew the thing on a piece of metal and then just took a saber saw and just cut it out pretty much, and then took a grinder over it and then attached 2 rods on the back to give it a nice look. Okay, now we're in the coop. This is where all the action happens. This door usually will close in the wintertime or at nighttime when the hens kind of put themselves to bed. There's our little loading ramp they can use. Basically, I put a straw bedding down, and that's really for cleaning purposes, because most of the time the hens will roost up on these little areas. I've got 2 in the back corner and 1 up on top. And what I'll do is try to clean this coop out twice a month, and all this will come out, put new hay, or straw I should say, put new straw back in, and that way it kind of keeps it clean in there. And it also ventilates. This door at night, when we do get cold in the winter here, I keep this closed and I'll keep that closed. I've got a thermometer. We can go around the other side and I'll show you where it's at, because you can close off all the access. For in the summertime, I keep them open so they get some ventilation in the night. Now it comes to when feeding the hens, where I didn't really want to have to go in the pen to scare the hens. So what I did is a gravity feed spout here, and basically what that is a drain, and then the feed is over here in this storage container, and then I just basically pour in whatever amount. It gravity feeds it down into that little chute there, and when I fill that 2.5 gallon container up, that'll hold 4 chickens probably for about 3 days. So if you wanted to do a long weekend, they've got all the water they need, they've got all the food they need, and nobody will have to mess with them. And then basically you can see this was the drain, and I just converted it into a cover and then put it onto here. Very inexpensive to make, very cheap, but it works. Yeah. And this is another thing that comes from that silver water collection tank down to here, and there's a float valve on there that goes up and down when water's needed, and there's 2 little holes where the chickens can pop their head in there to get water whenever it's needed. Okay, I think the last thing of the coop I want to show you is the nesting box, which when you make a nesting box to a coop, what you want to do is a private area that's kind of away from all the action where the other hens are. They like to come private. And also I want an access panel to where I can go in and say, okay, these are mine. So that's part of the nesting box. And then also I put a lock on it just to try to keep predators out. And also the design feature is that it's a cantered roof like this, so when water hits it, it runs off the box. And I just did a tar coating over the top just to keep it waterproof. And then water will just slide right off it instead of going inside the box. The last thing about the chicken coop is I had a little extra time. So I started looking at it. I wanted to put a little personal touches on it. So I took a piece of metal, basically cut it out, welded it on, and this is the actual handle for the coops to keep these coops nice and happy.